Hey everyone, and welcome to a very special episode of The Back Bedroom. I am your host, Jeffrey, as always, and today I am joined by MashTheNewton from Retro Game Time Machine. How you doing today, Mash?
I'm doing great, thanks, and I'm super stoked to be here. I've really been looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's me too. You're my second guest onto The Back Bedroom, so it's super cool to start branching out and doing other things after doing our interview last week for your show. Yeah, so it's fun. A little change of scenery. I'm in the studio. I'm in the studio today. So
yeah, and it's cool that we're both kind of doing our reaching out and interviewing other people episodes right around the same time, because you were my first and now I get to be your second interview. So that's awesome.
Making history. I gotta remember to put that in my bio. I have it jotted down in my notes. I gotta remember to put first guest. So yeah, I'm excited to see, because you were talking the other day about some more guests that you have lined up. If you want to kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, actually, I have done 2 other recordings since interviewing you, and then I have another one lined up for this coming Saturday. And I have been shot down by a couple of people so far, but that has not deterred me. Well,
wait,
yeah,
people actually came back. Was it bad, or just
no,
declined?
It wasn't bad. They very politely declined.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
I'm not trying to not trying to say anyone was being a jerk or anything.
Wow.
No, not. Everyone was very nice.
Okay, cool.
But I left it off with all right, cool. So I'll take that as a no for now, but maybe yes in the future.
Maybe later.
So yeah. We'll see.
That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, I've reached out to a few. It's been good so far. It's just finding the time, because what I've been doing, I've been finding people that are talking about just other really cool things, that I just find interesting. So I'm trying to find a way to weave that all into one show. But anyways, I'm getting off. We'll deal with that later. So
whatever, it's your podcast, man.
Yeah, but
you do what you want.
I'm trying to stay on a path here. I'm trying to keep myself organized. So since you're on today, what we did is I came up with some questions. You have them answered. I haven't seen anything, so they will be. It'll be. We'll all be learning together at the same time. So this first few questions, what I wanted to do for anybody watching and listening, from my side, from the back bedroom side of things, is just to give you a chance to explain, I guess, what the Retro Game Time Machine is and stuff like that. So for anybody listening, like I said, from my side, they can just learn, because I think a few of them went over last week to see the video that you and I did. So just a good chance. So I guess the first question will be, what is the Retro Game Time Machine?
Well, the Retro Game Time Machine is a primarily retro video game focused podcast where for the past 18 months or so, we've been putting out episodes every 2 weeks, and our general formula has been, we talk a little bit about modern gaming news right in the beginning, kind of catch up. But I've tried to change that to be more retro focused, modern news.
Yeah.
Because, we're a retro podcast and all. And I feel like there's a million other video game focused podcasts that are specifically focused on the latest and greatest stuff in the news.
Yeah.
So dialing back a little bit from that. But once we're done with that, then we go on to the real focus of the episode. And generally we focus on one game, and we try to play through and beat the game if possible.
Yeah.
And we then, we go back in time, we get in the time machine, created a cool, at least I think it's a cool sound effect for it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of rattle off different things that were happening in that month that the game was released.
That's always fun. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Some of that stuff is really fun to find come up with.
Yeah. It's so much fun to hear, especially when it's in a year and maybe a month even that I'm just so familiar with, it's just so much fun to hear.
I mean, spoiler for my own episode that's going to be coming out tonight, even though I imagine it'll be out before this is. We finally got to the most popular song on the day of release for Pilot Wing 64 was the Macarena.
Oh, wow.
We finally got to the Macarena.
Oh, geez. Oh.
So anyway, we talked through that stuff. I'll mention maybe some popular video game rentals at Blockbuster that month.
Yeah.
And at least if the information is there. But then, we go into the development history of the game. We talk about the general reception of the game, like critically.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into our own memories and impressions and then really break things down. Like we generally talk about the music, talk about characters, if applicable, different levels, and just try to pick it apart. So we've really got the formula, like, I think, nailed ever since like the late teens
mm-hmm.
of the episodes. So if anyone who listens to this decides to go back and listen, I'd say maybe start with a newer episode.
Mm-hmm.
They're technically better.
Yeah.
The editing is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you start off with those and you like it, then maybe you'll have a little more tolerance to go back to episode 1 where, where we weren't maybe as established yet. But, that's pretty much the case with every podcast.
Any and everything. Yeah. No, not even just everything. Any and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless you're like a prodigy or something, and I am no podcasting prodigy.
No, unfortunately, I'm not. You talked about the critical acclaim of some games.
Yeah.
Recently, I can't remember what game or what the episode was, but some game got like 11 out of 10 or something like that. Like I don't.
Half-Life 2.
But
Half-Life 2 got an 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10.
Maximum PC.
Yeah, so it's such a cool podcast. Like I stumbled upon it. Like I said, when I got somehow I ended up on Good Pods, starting out doing podcasting, and stumbled upon it, and it's been so much fun to listen to.
Thanks.
It's a gaming
so
book
much fun
club,
to make.
essentially. Yeah, no, It's so cool. It's such a cool idea, and it's awesome. All right, so does that kind of, you feel like that encapsulates Retro Game Time Machine pretty well?
Yeah, and then I guess the only other piece of it is like doing the interview episodes, starting with you, and then the next one is actually going to be with a guy by the name of G to the Next Level. You can find him on Twitch, but he's somebody that I've been watching for a while. And then I'm really also excited about the following episode, because the following episode after G is a guy that I have been listening to a podcast that he's been a part of for probably 12 or 13 years now.
Wow.
And he used to write for Electronic Gaming Monthly back in the day. Yeah, so his name is Greg Seward, and I just recorded with him the other night, and I'm going to be editing all that together, and I think it's going to go live on like March 20th. So we still got a little ways. But,
mark your calendars. That is exciting.
But yeah, the Player One podcast that he's a part of. It's all three of the guys on that show used to write for EGM, and even one of them wrote for Nintendo Power.
Wow.
They're a fun group of guys that are a little bit older than me. But I can definitely relate to pretty much everything they're talking about, with the exception of they're all fathers and I have no children. So
it's overrated. It's
overrated.
I'm just kidding.
No, I know.
It's fun.
I love that response, though. That's overrated.
Oh, that is super cool. That is exciting. So I'll definitely be looking forward to that. And I really can't believe I was the first guest. So that's super cool. Wow. So man, I'm thinking about that now. Like, wow, that is cool. Writing for
it was
having someone.
Interview.
Yeah, having someone that's written for one of the bigger gaming magazines is going to be really cool to hear.
Yeah, I used to read his articles and reviews, and I don't know, I didn't pay close attention to everyone's names, but then like I started kind of going back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really did read a lot of the stuff that he wrote.
Yeah,
I mean, and the other two guys.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd like to go. I'm sure I and others listening probably have too if they got those magazines.
Yeah.
So another fun question that I had and was thinking about. So why the retro game time machine? Like where did the idea come from?
Well, I would love to say that it was an incredibly original idea that I had. But there's a podcast out there that I adore. I think it's the greatest retro gaming podcast in existence.
Uh-oh.
It's a show called Back in My Play, and it's made by a guy named Kevin Larrabee. Though sadly, there are no new episodes coming, and there have not been new episodes coming to Back in My Play for quite a while. And I listened to that show like faithfully, and I've listened to a lot of the episodes at least a couple of times. And I was missing that show so bad.
Wow.
Like I missed Back in My Place so much that I was like, you know what? I should just do something like it. Like that will help scratch the itch for me, I think, because like I've listened to other retro gaming podcasts and there are other good ones.
Right.
And my show, in my opinion, is nowhere near as good as Back in My Play.
Yeah.
But it gives me the conversations that I was missing from that show. And I don't know. It's just I would try to follow along with his show and try to play some of the games like at the end of our episode when we announce, hey, we're going to be playing this over the course of the next 2 weeks until we do the next episode. He would do a similar thing, and I would try to play some of those games so I could be more involved in the conversation. So I was like, well, I'm basically already going through all of the motions.
Right.
I'm just not recording the conversation about it. And I had been acquaintances and like I would say for a while a low grade friend with Andy, where like, we whenever we would see each other, we would chat about video games. And then finally, like, I don't know, we started talking more and I was like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Like, I think this would be super fun. And we didn't start off actually doing the retro game focus thing. We were doing the thing that, where there's a million other podcasts like around gaming where it's all the same. I mean, not all the same, but it's all like, focused on modern gaming news.
What's out now? Yeah.
So we started recording that. We had a name that I ended up getting a decent amount of negative feedback about. So I was like, okay, like both of us then we both liked the name that I came up with, Retro Game Time Machine. So I was like, okay, well, we can't be called Retro Game Time Machine and have the same format that we have right now. So I was like, how about we do this like more similar to Back in My Play format, which I don't even think Andy's listened to that show, but anyway, that's where the idea came from. And if you have not heard, like you specifically, or
I
you,
would
the
definitely
listener,
be looking. Yeah.
If you've not heard of Back in My Play, definitely check it out. It's, again, I think it's the best retro gaming podcast around.
Wow.
And I hope that my show is half as entertaining. I would be stoked if it was.
I'll definitely check it out because I think y'all show is amazing. So I would definitely be checking that out. That's pretty cool to see, and that's the beauty of just kind of this creative and community is being inspired by someone else to then wanting to do your own thing. That's amazing. That is cool. I'll definitely be looking that podcast up.
Yeah, he puts a huge emphasis on soundtracks, and I know Andy and I talk about them, but he in his show actually, like, he'll take commercial breaks, so to speak, and then play like some of the soundtracks of the game that they're talking about.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he's had so many fantastic guests.
Wow.
So that kind of helped pre-populate like some of the names of people that I want to try to see if I can interview like down the road.
Oh, see there, man, that is so
So
cool.
I feel like I'm giving away all my secrets of like really like
A little,
cramping his style,
a little
but
influence.
I mean
It's all right.
it's but you know,
It's
imitation is
exactly.
the sincerest form of
Hmm.
flattery. So
Exactly. When something like that can inspire you to put as much work in as a podcast takes to make, you know.
yeah, I mean, especially like it. I've realized with doing the interview episodes, I'm like, these are so easy and fast by comparison
Oh
to
yeah,
like our regular episodes because
yeah,
I'm not having to play through a whole game. I'm not having to find all the pop culture stuff of
yeah.
things that were happening. So anyway,
Easy
I
go.
yeah, but I love I'm now loving like both formats of the show.
Oh yeah. Once you get a little taste of like the different format, you kind of want to keep doing it. That I'm in the same boat. I'm like, I love
Yeah.
my show, but man, I want to keep doing interviews.
I'm like, yeah, it's fun getting to
Yeah,
talk to different people that
it
also
is.
like the same stuff that you
Yeah,
do.
it's
So
it's the whole reason I started the backbench trip. So, man, my next question was, had you wanted to, podcast
yeah.
like a long time before you created the show, or was it just something, you know?
So yes, I have wanted to do this for quite some time,
Hmm.
but I felt like my needs were being met.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have as strong of a desire to do it
Hmm.
before the show I loved the most stopped having new episodes.
Hmm.
I did actually now I don't know if this is up anywhere, but for the very first episode of the official Reddit retro gaming subreddit podcast,
Hmm.
I was one of the people on it. Like I was there with Zadok Payet, if I'm saying his name right,
Uh-huh.
and I can't remember the other person who I recorded with, but we did an interview with, and now I can't remember the guy's name, but he was going to be responsible for the. Was it the crap? Now I'm forgetting what it was called. There was going to be a cartridge-based, more retro-styled console that was coming out from Coleco,
Hmm.
maybe. Shoot, I can't remember.
That sounds. I don't know. I mean, something like it, like a later. Would it have like the collection of things on it, or is it just going to be?
Well, it was going to be a brand new video
Oh,
game system where it was all cartridge based games. And they were going to
oh,
be new games but more retro styled. So kind of like a home to put cartridge based indie games
oh, kind of.
somewhere
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay.
And they were going to be using the Atari Jaguar shell
Hmm.
because apparently there's still easy access to machines that can print in that shape.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did that, and then also I did a test episode with somebody that I used to work with years ago
Hmm.
to try to create something that actually kind of would have been the first version of what Retro Game Time Machine is. And it's funny. It's somebody also that that Andy knows.
Hmm.
But yeah, it didn't really, I don't know. We didn't really take off from there. That first episode that I did though, that was like essentially like the seed that sprouted what we have now as Retro Game Time Machine.
Yeah.
I completely I was like completely ripping off the entire back in my play format, like segment for segment.
We're gonna do
And
this
like
exactly.
yeah,
like
I mean, yeah, I didn't put that out anywhere. It's still just sitting on my computer.
Yeah.
But it was my fun first attempt to be like, can I do something like this?
Right.
Can I edit something like this together? How
Hmm.
does it sound? Yeah. So
It's
anyway,
when you first start out, that was my big thing too. Was like, I don't want to just copy exactly, and I took a lot from Kind of Funny because I just love how
okay.
kind of like how they were built, and then how it's kind of morphed into a live type deal, and then they have different shows for the Xbox, PlayStation, and all the different things. And I was like, I just love how it's friends getting together and talking about video games and
Yeah.
pop culture and stuff. So like when I was doing the first, like I found myself wanting to just copy them exactly, and I was like, I gotta stop this. Like and even a few early episodes, I even mentioned how I don't want my show to be too newsy, where it's just reading current video game news like they were doing and stuff like that. And I was like, so I get it. Like it's hard, especially when you find something you really enjoy, like the podcast that you're talking about, the back of my play. Like you just, you know, it's like, oh, I love it so much, and it's such a cool way to do it. Let me just kind of copy it.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
like
I'd say now, you know, you could probably hear the inspiration in Retro Game Time Machine, but you know, I think we've done some of our own stuff,
pulled away a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to go back and hear kind of how you're the inspirations. That's always fun. So this, I didn't really put this as a question, really. It was just more of kind of like a topic that I figured you could just kind of go on. Was, especially with the back bedroom, I talk about kind of gaming memories all the time. That's, you know, where my name came from. That's where a lot of the subjects of this show come from. So what were some fun memories from your life that you would like to share with us? You know, and kind of what helped make you the video game connoisseur that you are today?
All right. So I first started with just a little blurb and a couple of things, but then I kind of like wrote out my entire like timeline. So I'll kind of have I've got my bullet points in my timeline, and I'm sure, you know, I'll end up talking about some different stuff. But started with the NES in 1988. I got that from my dad, which I'm gonna visit with him soon, and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't know why my dad had an NES and why he ended up giving it to me.
Yeah,
like I don't remember any of that because I was 4 when that happened.
Yeah,
so it's a very, very vague and fuzzy memory.
Yeah.
But along with that came Super Mario Brothers 2, The Legend of Zelda 2, Excite Bike, RC Pro-Am, Arkanoid with the actual like little turny paddle controller thing. And I don't know, I think there were a couple others that I can't remember exactly what else was in that first set of games that was bestowed upon me, but those games and the music in those games have been like permanently burned into my brain. Like to this day, like I still don't know how to play Zelda 2. I haven't gone back. I did not understand at 4 and 5 and 6 years old what the heck I was even supposed to do in Zelda 2, but I just ran around, got into a lot of random encounters, and like all of the sound effects and music are just like, they're permanently taking up space in my head, but there's not anything wrong with that.
No. That's what makes it fun.
So yeah, that's what started it. Then in 1990 for Christmas, I ended up getting a Game Boy. And now actually this is like, I don't remember if it was 90 or 89. I think it was 90 because I also got Mario Brothers 3. And like my parents got divorced when I was young. So thankfully it was young enough that I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
So I hopefully don't have any hidden trauma from any of that.
Hopefully this isn't the podcast
no, it's like, oh my God, I uncover it all.
No.
But no, this particular Christmas that I have in mind, like my mom and my dad were considering like getting back together, and we were having like a family Christmas. And I got kind of spoiled because I got the Game Boy. And that came with Tetris. I got Super Mario Land. I also got Super Mario Brothers 3, like I mentioned, for the Nintendo.
Right.
And then like all day with my dad, we played Mario Brothers 3. And I remember when like it was late, it was time for bed, and we weren't done. We were nowhere near done. And of course you can't save the game.
Right.
So I was like, oh no, we're going to lose all this progress. And my dad was like, oh no, it's fine. We'll just leave the Nintendo on overnight. And I was like, what? what do you mean you're going to leave it on overnight? Like, is it going to break?
Yeah.
I was like so nervous
It's
going to bed as a
explode.
kid that,
Yeah.
that like my Nintendo was going to melt or something because we were leaving it on overnight.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's a pocket of a memory that has helped to contribute to me.
Right.
Later in 1992, I bought my first gaming console and I bought my Super Nintendo.
Wow.
I'd been saving up money like as long as I possibly could from like Christmases and birthdays and saving up all of my allowance so that I could buy a Super Nintendo. I only got the control deck. It was like $89 with one controller and no game.
Yeah.
Now, this is where I learned what sales tax is. Because I saved $89.
Yeah.
Actually, probably 90 because it was $89.99. So I saved like $90 or $91. And I have this like plastic thing with a bunch of change and just like $1 bills. So like going back, like thinking about it now, like I feel bad for the person.
Oh yeah, that cashier was like, oh.
The Good Guys. I got my SNES at the Good Guys.
Oh, I have no clue what that is.
Yeah, it was an electronics store. It might have been only based in the Central Valley of California.
Oh, okay, like a regional. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, so I was like a few bucks short on the sales tax. So my dad paid for the rest so I could get it. But I remember being so pissed off. I'm like, it says it's $89.99.
Yeah.
I have that amount of money. What do you mean I don't have enough money?
Yeah.
So,
sir.
Yeah.
This is correct. Yeah. That's funny.
He's like, well, no, there's like this much percent. Then I'm like, why isn't that on the sticker?
This is how the world works.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny. You go to places like Europe. There is sales tax, but it's all factored in on the sticker. The price you see is the price you pay. It's not like scans and then it's like, cool, now it's like 10% more. I'm like, what? Anyway,
surprise.
Yeah. So yeah,
and,
I learned
and
about
it didn't come with the game, so you had to. I'm assuming you had to save up to get a game.
I did, but thankfully I got to go rent one or two video games.
Oh, okay.
Like the next day.
Okay.
So I had like I had a full night where it was like set up
just
on the
sitting
TV,
there.
and I just stared at it. I just like looked. I was so pleased though that I had a Super Nintendo, even if I couldn't play it. Like just holding the controller, just looking at the console under the TV. I'm like, yes, soon I will be able to play something.
It's a cool looking console too. The color scheme I've always thought is really cool. It's a cool looking console.
Yeah, I mean, I think the PAL version or the Super Famicom, I think that looks a little nicer than what we got here in North America.
Yeah.
More colors, but still, I don't know. I always liked the purple.
I do. I just like
Nintendo.
that purple on the gray silver look. Yeah.
All right. So a little further down the road.
This is awesome.
And please stop me if this if this is way more than what you were looking for.
You're fine, because I'm kind of comparing to me because like, and not to make you, I was born in 88. So like I said, and I mentioned this on your show, I think I was probably 3-ish. So we had a Nintendo, and my parents actually divorced about the same time when I was about 4. Okay. So then, he I guess my dad kept the Nintendo. I don't know. I never saw it again, but we had a Nintendo, and then I didn't see another video game console until, oh goodness, like I said, I was probably in the 3rd grade. And we had the Sega, and I had a neighbor who had a Super Nintendo, and that would have been, 95-ish, 94? I don't know. So just a comparison of where your time frame is at.
Speaking of the Sega Genesis in 1994, that was the next console I bought for myself with saving money.
Yeah, you're buying consoles.
Birthday and Christmas. I started early, man.
Man,
I knew that was the only way that I was going to get them is if I bought them myself.
That's awesome.
Like every penny I got was saved so that I could buy a video game or a console.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I got my Genesis at Target in early 1994, bought it right around my 10th birthday. And then maybe I should have been in sales, because like I did this sales pitch to my parents to have them get me Sega Channel, which I was successful. And I ended up getting Sega Channel for my newly purchased Sega Genesis, you know, pretty much towards practically the end of the life cycle of the Genesis.
Right.
But man, 50 different games every single month. Like I was like, look, you won't have to pay for my video game rentals. Like this can also just be my allowance.
This is it.
You can just pay for the Sega Channel. I think that they paid for the Sega Channel and I still got an allowance.
Yeah.
I think.
But
anyway, either that or I didn't get an allowance and I just continued to save money from doing like, I don't know, odd
little things,
job chore things.
Clean the kitchen.
Anyway. So yeah, did all of that. Absolutely loved the Sega Channel. Then started doing a little bit of PC gaming in 1995 because I would visit my dad's house like every other weekend and got to play some Duke Nukem 3D. That was fun and not age appropriate, but that made it even more fun because I knew that it wasn't age appropriate. I'm like, ooh, like I'm probably too young to be playing this. Awesome.
Fire it up.
Yeah. And with PC gaming now, really started to get into it with Unreal in 1997 maybe or 8, and then Half-Life in 1998. That would ultimately turn into many LAN parties with my friends.
So cool.
With my dad and his friends, then my friends and my dad's friends. We'd mix, and it was like teenage kids and guys in their 30s and 40s all swearing at each other and
that's awesome.
calling each other names and having a good time.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. And then 1996, even though those LAN parties happened after 96, in late 96, I decided I was going to buy a Sega Saturn. And I did, and then returned it about a week later for my Nintendo 64.
I never got a Saturn or a Dreamcast, so I kind of missed out on
those. Are two great systems. Like I ended up getting a Saturn again for cheap. I don't know, long time ago, probably at this point, like probably like about 20 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, so I got it when it was pretty inexpensive. Wow, 20 years ago. That was still 2002.
2002, yeah, which is crazy to think about.
Ooh. But yeah, Wave Race 64 is my first game on my N64. With my N64, I ended up playing a lot of Mario Kart 64, GoldenEye. We have episodes about those two on the podcast. And I know I've talked about with you a little bit. There was also some WCW versus NWO that I spent a ton of time with. Had tournaments with my friends in my friend's garage. Like, put it up on the whiteboard. We had bracketed stuff. We'd go play some basketball in between because my friend lived on a court.
Yeah.
So super good times with that. And then ended up getting a PS1 in 1998 during the summer. I got it from FuncoLand. I remember having to lay down in the bed of the truck of my neighbor's brother because he had like a small truck that could only fit 2 people. And I think 5 of us went to FuncoLand.
Oh,
so like there were a couple of us laying down because it wasn't legal to be sitting in the bed of the truck. So we're all laying down so that nobody can see us.
Yeah.
And went in and got a used PlayStation 1. Ended up getting really into Gran Turismo, the first Grand Theft Auto. Shortly thereafter, I rented Parappa the Rapper and Metal Gear Solid. And like I just heard you in your top 10 video game characters talking about Metal Gear Solid and the Psycho Mantis fight and the reading the memory card and having to do stuff in the player 2 port.
Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my god, Parappa. That blew my mind. Like I remember reading about it, being excited for the game, and that's part of the reason why I wanted to get a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like I ended up seeing that there was merit to literally every video game system that was out there, so I wanted all of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see. I ended up buying a used Dreamcast at GameStop in late 1999. So like, yes, it came out $99.99.
Oh, was that the marketing thing for it?
Yeah, that's officially when it was released in North
Oh,
America.
okay.
But I bought mine, I think, like early December, and I was already able to get it used. So somebody already traded theirs in.
Wow.
Ended up playing, some Quake 3 Arena online, lots of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, Jet Set Radio, Daytona, all the Sega classics. Ended up getting my PS2 from Sears in the year 2000.
Sears is not around anymore for anybody.
Yeah, Sears and Roebuck Company.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought Smuggler's Run before I was able to find a PS2.
Yeah.
So I was like, even at the launch of the PS2, even games were hard to find. So I remember seeing, oh my God, there's a game. There's a game available. So I bought it.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up doing the same thing with Madden 2001. I think I had those two games before I was able to actually find a PlayStation 2 to play.
Yeah. I think Madden is what I had for when I got the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Also with my PS2, and now this is way later, like towards the end of the life cycle of the PS2, but man, when Guitar Hero came out, holy crap.
Yeah.
I lost my mind. Like,
oh yeah.
I hosted so many Guitar Hero parties, which would later turn into like Rock Band parties after Rock Band was out.
Yeah.
Or I would just be going to a friend's house, take my PS2 and Guitar Hero, and just show up and be like, hey, what do you guys want to do? Oh, you don't know? Let's play Guitar Hero.
We got this. This is here.
Yeah, actually, I've always been that guy that, like, when I show up at a friend's house, I mean, I guess I haven't done this in a while, but for the longest time, like, I'd show up at a friend's house and I'd have a console with me and be like, do you guys want to play this?
Who's ready to play video games?
Yeah, so I've been a big video game pusher my whole life.
That's
and
awesome.
Ended up in 2002, I received a GameCube as a gift from a very nice friend of mine. I've told the story on my show, but he wanted to buy the Platinum GameCube, and he already had the black one from launch. And I worked something out with him where I was going to buy his GameCube and Mario Sunshine from him. And I went with him to Walmart at like midnight to get that Platinum GameCube that he was going for. And then when we came back and he set everything up and like I had the money to give him, he was like, Merry Christmas. And he just gave it to me. And because it was right around Christmas, but he just gave the game and the GameCube to me. That was so incredibly nice.
That's awesome.
And let's see, I'm getting towards the end of my the chronicling of my gaming rise console to power.
This is awesome. I love the build up here.
And let's see, I ended up buying an Xbox, the original OG.
I remember
in 2003.
Yeah.
So I didn't get it I got it 2 years after launch. But I was finally able to play through Halo, went and rented that game and played through with a friend in like practically in a night. And played a lot of Burnout 3. A lot of Burnout 3 on the Xbox. That's such a good game.
It was, yeah.
And played it, I think I played through most of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, but I never actually finished it.
Many a playthrough through that, yeah.
And as I'm getting towards the end of it, like, because I'm not going to go all the way into modern day, but 2003, I built a PC. My first PC with my own money. Since I'd been working at Borders, may it rest in peace, for quite a while, and got really into Half-Life 2. Played a lot of Battlefield 2.
And that was the 11 out of 10 game, right?
Yes, 11 out of 10. Half-Life 2.
Wanted to make sure.
And played a lot of Battlefield 2. Got on the first Far Cry. Played Doom 3. Like, I don't know. That was when I pretty much was like, I am just a PC gamer from now on.
Yeah,
That didn't stick.
the
That
PC
stuck
master
for
race.
yeah, it stuck for a few years.
Yeah.
But I still found myself like really wanting to play some stuff that was not coming out on PC.
Yeah.
And wound up getting my 360 in 2006 at Best Buy. And I did that primarily because I really wanted to play Rock Band, because I was such a big fan of Guitar Hero,
Right.
and was playing the crap out of Guitar Hero at this time. But yeah, then a friend of mine gave me Gears of War that I used to work at Starbucks forever ago.
Good one.
And yeah, he gave me Gears of War, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then we played through the entire game together and was like, wow, this is amazing. I guess there are still some really amazing games on console. And got into Crackdown, got it really into the Halo. Like, I got into Halo 3 right when that came out, even though like I wasn't like as into Halo as I was games like Half-Life.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sums up, 20 something, or actually almost 20 years of my my gaming life there.
That's awesome. Thank you, Wolf, for sharing that. I didn't know but that's what we do on the Back Bedroom. That's pretty much all I talk about, is kind of from the beginning up. So that was so cool with that. So thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And I know it's so much fun just going back and thinking about that stuff, because I can only imagine, like, you probably jotted down a few and then you started thinking about it and you're like, oh man, but the N64 and the Xbox.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, there were just a couple of things that were there, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna write and then that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep, that's what happens. But that to me is the best. That's the best part of any and all of this, is just going back and sharing those, because I guarantee you someone listening may have had like a similar thing, and they're like, oh yeah. I got like I said, I never got the Dreamcast or the Saturn.
The Saturn.
So, but I remember the Dreamcast being so big. I went to, it may have been 99 or early 2000. My mom and my stepdad took me to a Limp Bizkit concert.
Oh man.
And I was probably middle school, or about to get into middle school. Anyways, Rollin' had just come out. It was their big song at the time. So before the concert, they, like, 4 dudes had won a contest, and they played the UFC game on Dreamcast on like a big projection screen in front of the whole Coliseum. And like the winner won a whole bunch of different stuff. But I remember like being in the crowd, like watching it, and I was like, man, that's awesome. But I never got a Dreamcast, but that sticks out.
Yeah, there was a big thing with like Limp Bizkit and the launch of the Dreamcast, and like, I think I remember seeing things like, yeah, some of the people that you might be playing against if you're playing online games on SegaNet is you might be playing against Fred Durst.
Oh,
you don't even know.
Okay, so that tour may have been sponsored by Dreamcast, and I don't even know it. Like,
I think that's very possible.
Yeah, I know it was in December, so it was probably December of '99. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I was, like I said, well, I'd have been 11. Yeah, I'd have been about 12. I'd have turned 12 that year. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I would, man. Now I need to go back and see. It'd be cool if it was like Limp Bizkit presented by Dreamcast.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so here's the fun part. So I threw this in, and I was like, hey, if he does it, cool. If he doesn't, cool. Whatever. But I threw it out there because I've gotten so much feedback on my top 10. I've gotten stuff from who I've excluded, who I've included. Now, before I throw it to you, my whole premise was it's my top 10. It's
of course,
the characters that were a part of my gaming life up until now. So again, I had a friend of mine submit his. I've had other people submit stuff, and I've kind of been adding it, and I'll release those in upcoming episodes. So I threw it to Mash if he wanted to, 1,000% optional. He decided to do it.
Yeah.
So he is here today on the Back Bedroom to share his, is it 10?
Yes, it is 10.
To share his top 10 favorite video game characters of all time.
Dude, it was hard. This was so hard. Like, I just started stream of consciousness writing down all the game characters that I like, and then I was like, no, wait, this is bad. I have way too many names down here.
I have
this
45.
Is way more than 10. So yeah, it took me a little while to go back and put them in order.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have a few honorable mentions.
Okay.
But to start backwards from 10.
Okay.
Number 10 is
10.
the Prince from Katamari.
Oh wow!
So I am late to the game when it comes to Katamari.
Yeah,
but it's just so charming.
It is. I played it so long ago. I probably need to revisit.
Yeah, it's just so charming and relaxing, and like, I don't know. I love that weird cylinder-headed little guy. Just like pushing stuff around to make a giant garbage ball to send into space to create constellations. Like, just
pushing around. Yep.
It's such a weird concept for a game, but
and his design is so.
I like that little guy. Yeah, he's so weird, but like, I don't know. I really like him. That's awesome.
We're off to a fantastic start.
All right, my number 9 is Kirby. Oh, good one. Who doesn't love that little pink fluff? I mean, he eats everything. He turns into cool stuff. Yes. There's a really awesome looking Kirby game that's coming out on the Switch next month that I'm super excited about. I think it's Kirby in the Forgotten Land.
Yes,
I'm also late to the game on Kirby. I was not like this is also a theme that if anyone listening has listened to Retro Game Time Machine, where I got to a certain point where I thought I was too cool or too old for certain games, and I really wanted to like be more mature, so to speak, in my focus of games and like game character, like it's got to have shooting or I don't know, something. Yeah. So I completely skipped over Kirby until probably listening to Back in My Play, where he was covering I don't know, I can't remember if it was Kirby's Dream Land or whatever Kirby game. But then I finally played it and was like, oh my God, this game is really great. And this is a great character. So yeah, I've got Kirby as my number 9.
I love Kirby.
Number 8, we're taking a hard turn.
Oh yes, here we go.
To Max Payne.
Oh wow. Wow. Number 8, Max Payne.
Yeah, I love it's funny since I just played it again for the show. Sometime in the past couple of months, just played Max Payne 2 on stream. Like, I love the over the top nature of Max Payne, the film noir. Yeah. Like, I don't know, it feels like there's so much like hyperbole, or maybe that's not even the right word for it. Like the rain fell like razor blades through the sky, or like whatever stuff like that, and like that scrunched up constipated look on his face in Max Payne 1, like it's silly, but like I love it. Like, wow. I don't know, I've seen so many like cop drama shows with my partner because she's super into those shows, and like I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't into them as well. Right. But I've become more into them, but like, I don't know, just Max Payne.
Max Payne making the list. Wow. This is awesome.
All right. So then my number 7, going back a little bit further in gaming history than Max Payne, is Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Cool. Very topical right now. Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Street Fighter announcement. Wow. So I don't know, like, even though I didn't play as Chun-Li that much, I gotta give her credit, because like she's the only woman in Street Fighter 2. Like, and I'm talking about the base game of Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
She is, yeah.
She's the only woman, like, holding her own against all the guys. And I think she's probably like my first experience also with like playing as a female character in a video game.
Yeah.
Like, not that she was the first, but I
Yeah.
think that was my first experience. And like, I thought like it was cool. And then I also started to wonder, like, wait, why is there only one female character
I've never thought of
in
that.
the game?
Yeah.
I mean, they've obviously like changed that with, with newer versions of Street Fighter, but like, I don't know. I think I definitely think that she deserves to be in the list because like she's always who my stepsister would pick when my stepsister would play with me. And she got pretty good with her. Like,
oh, she's a good character. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, this was probably a couple of years ago because I don't speak with my stepsister that much, like not for any particular reason, like not on purpose.
Yeah.
But it's just a fact. But I did see that she like tagged me in a post or something on Instagram or Facebook or I don't know, whenever or on whatever. But it was her being super stoked that she was like kicking butt against all of her like male, like, you know, current male friends or colleagues, like kicking their butt at Street Fighter as Chun-Li because of all the time that she spent playing Street Fighter 2 with me.
That's awesome.
So she was like, thank you.
Yeah.
For having me play this game with you because I can still kick people's asses.
Look at the skills. That's interesting. So while you were saying that, I'm thinking even Mortal Kombat 1 would only have had Sonya on it.
Sonya Blade.
Yeah, she would have been the only one there. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I'm glad to see that there's more of a shift.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's cool that Chun-Li, I think for me, Lara Croft made my honorable mention just because of you know, kind of being that first, you know, kind of female character for me and my brother. You know, Tomb Raider was what we had probably before Resident Evil 3, where I played as Jill Valentine, but she made my list, so whatever.
All right, you ready for number 6?
Super ready.
Shovel Knight.
Oh, wow.
Shovel Knight is so good.
It is good.
That game was like whatever year that game released on the Wii U. That was my game of the year that year. Wow. It's such a fantastic game. And I so to this day, I've only played through the base game of Shovel Knight. And I say that because now they've added so many other campaigns to the game where you get to play as different characters. But Shovel Knight is an absolute masterpiece. And I just love that you're a knight with a shovel instead of a sword.
That's what video games, that's peak video game character, right?
I mean, I have the amiibo of Shovel Knight. I love it.
I remember when it released. That is all right. Cool. Awesome. Number 6. Your list so far. Wow.
For chivalry. Oh my God. Oh, okay. The soundtrack to Shovel Knight, amazing. Jake Kaufman, fantastic composer for Shovel Knight. It's also one of the few video game soundtracks that I have on vinyl. It is so good.
Wow. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Because again, I was making fun of myself recently for being the guy that looks for fully digitally created music to be put onto an analog format.
I need, us too. Just my daughter loves a show called Bluey that I've talked about on the show before, and they just released a vinyl of the Bluey soundtrack. You know, and so me and my wife are both like, we have to have this, right? like it's for her, right? But we need it.
Yeah.
So
that's too funny.
Yeah.
All right. Number 5 is Chie Saronaka. You may have no idea who this is.
No clue.
So Chie Saronaka is one of the characters from Persona 4.
Okay.
Persona 4, in my opinion, now I have not played through many RPGs, so please take this with a grain of salt. But Persona 4, in my mind, is the single greatest RPG ever made.
Oh.
But again, I say this with incredibly limited RPG experience as far as like actually completing them.
Right. But you're not alone, because the Persona games get a lot. They are very highly talked about and reviewed and stuff in the RPG section. I mean, especially recently, I've seen it come up a lot. So
yeah, I mean, the music in the game is incredible. the characters, like really it's about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And like there are like, I don't know, I love all of the characters in that game,
Mm-hmm.
but I always had like a soft spot for Chie. She's kind of silly, and she's more over the top, I think, than some of the other characters in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But like, she's just so dang likable.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean, at least to me. And I don't know, like there's also like Persona 4 Arena
Mm-hmm.
and Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, where it's a fighting game, and you can also like, essentially play like a Street Fighter style fighting game with these characters.
With the characters. Okay.
And like, she's my favorite character in those fighting games also. But yeah, Chie Satonaka, fantastic character. And like, if you've not played the Persona games, I would strongly recommend it, because you can get Persona 4 on Steam now, or the Vita. If you're one of the like 30 people that has a Vita like me, that was how I played it. You can also play it on the PS2, but the one that's on the Vita and the one that's on Steam is Persona 4 The Golden. So there's like added stuff as compared to the PS2 version.
So they just made one free for the PS5, just recently. It was a free download. It was like maybe Persona 5 something.
Oh, Persona 5 Strikers.
Yes, that.
Yeah. I still haven't finished playing through Persona 5, but oh my god, it's such a good game as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So Chie was number 5. Number 4.
5. Top 4. Here we go.
Number 4 is Samus. Samus from Metroid.
Good pick. Yeah.
She's amazing. I'm also late to appreciating Metroid, or the Metroid games. And Andy and I played through the game for the show, like Super Metroid. We played for the show. I can't remember how long ago, maybe a few months ago. I don't know. This whole past 2 years, the whole concept of time is very strange.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, loved Super Metroid, where I'd never really sat down to take the time to go through a Metroid game, with the exception of, I guess the first one that I played was Metroid Fusion for the Game Boy Advance, but I played it on the Wii U Virtual Console. Fantastic series of games, fantastic character. Also super stoked to have like such a powerful, incredible, and amazing female character in a game. And I'm glad to see that that's like more of a trend that's been happening over the past couple of years, and seems like that's going to keep happening, which is amazing.
I was late on that train as well. And actually, from y'all's episode, I went back onto the Switch and went to the Nintendo Online or whatever it's called, to go back and I replayed some of it on my Switch after listening to y'all's show. So yeah, I was super late as well. That was the first time I'd ever actually put time into a Metroid game. So yeah,
it's, my god, Super Metroid is so good.
I
understand why like so many people are like, that's like when people say like in their opinion it's the greatest game of all time. I get it. It's not my greatest game of all time, but it's high up there.
Oh yeah, no, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it.
Are we ready for number 3?
Number 3, top 3.
Alex Vance from Half-Life 2.
Oh, okay.
And of Half-Life Alyx.
Okay.
And well, Half-Life 2 episode 1 and episode 2. Lots of Alex Vance. So I think Alex Vance is like, it's kind of like what Natalia aspired to be in GoldenEye. An NPC that follows you along and does things, but in this case, Alex isn't bad. Alex is great. I don't know, like what Valve was able to do with facial animation, what the voice actor was able to do to help, like, I don't know, help get you to care about Alex as a character. And then getting to be Alex in Half-Life Alyx and play through that in VR. Like, she's such a cool character.
Awesome.
She's she was vying for a higher position in my list,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
I just felt like these other two just barely edged her out for like more, I guess, nostalgic and or emotional
Something
reasons.
there. Yeah, okay. So her being 3 is all right. I'm getting something in my head, maybe for 1 or 2, but we'll wait and see. I'm excited to see these last 2. Hey, cool that she's 3. I was expecting
she's amazing.
someone from an 11 out of 10 game to be on this list, right?
Yes.
All right.
So, my number 2.
Number 2.
Parappa.
Wow.
Dude, I love Parappa the Rapper. I
was...
love that game so much. I think
that's
the
cool.
music is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The Parappa is a character. I think
such a cool
he's
character.
super awesome.
Yeah.
He's the cartoon, like he's the 2D cartoon dog equivalent of Doug.
Oh, okay.
I mean, do you remember the
I
show,
remember
the TV
Doug,
show
yeah.
Doug before it was Disney's Doug?
Yeah, no, I remember. I remember Nickelodeon Doug. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like Parappa, like the Parappa games. It's basically like an episode of Doug because he's all like, he's into Sunny the same way that Doug is into Patty Mayonnaise.
Yeah,
and like the songs are so good.
Man.
It's really like what started my music rhythm game love and appreciation was Parappa the Rapper on the demo disc that probably had Crash on it.
It probably had Crash and Metal Gear. Parappa sticks out to me. I remember having the PSM magazine with him on the cover. We had a lid sticker of him. I mean, he was. I remember when that game was coming out. It was so big, and we rented it. We never owned it, but I remember playing it, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, you ready for number 1?
This is it. Number 1. The number 1 on your list. Number 1.
I feel like it's almost cliche,
but
Mario.
Oh, wow.
So
I thought it was going to be someone else.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had to think back and like Mario is a character in all of the different games that have existed.
Yeah.
Like it felt wrong to not pick Mario for me because like I've played all the Mario 2D platformers.
Yeah.
I've played the 3D platformers. I've played pretty much every single one of the Mario sports type titles. Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, especially like Mario Kart as a franchise is potentially my favorite. I was going to say is potentially my favorite gaming franchise, but like then I'm like, wait a second, no, Half-Life. Like the Half-Life, it's so hard because they're so different.
Well, hang on to all that because right now cooking is a top 10 video game episode with the Back Bedroom, and I would love to have your feedback on that as well.
That'd be so hard.
So
but,
okay. Crap. Keep cook. Let that keep marinating for a while.
But I just played through Mario RPG for the first time recently, and like I don't know, like there are so many good. So you know what? I guess as a character, crap. As a character, Mario doesn't have a lot of depth.
No.
I guess what I'm really attaching this number 1 for Mario is the influence of the games in which he is the star.
Right. Yeah. It's a big part.
Now it makes me want to rethink my number 1.
Because like you said, with Nintendo, I mean, we all start, well, most of us, I would be willing to say, if you're listening to my podcast or y'all's podcast, the age group, we started with Nintendo, and he was there from the beginning up. I totally get it. He is one that I wrestled with myself, even putting into the top 10, because I thought to myself, wow, he's been a part of so many games, and Paper Mario is, again, my favorite game of all time. So I just...
you know what? Thinking about it, I feel like Luigi has more depth as a character than Mario does.
I think you could argue that. I think you could argue that because Luigi.
So,
I think you could argue that.
So I'm not going to change my answer, but now I'm conflicted about it. Now that I'm actually talking about it and throwing it out there. So I don't know. I might, if I had to go back and do this again, I actually don't know. At least if we're talking about purely the character,
Yeah.
then I don't know if he should be on my list.
Yeah.
I screwed it up, man.
In podcast.
Yeah, I'll throw out some honorable mentions that I had.
You revise it and you come back and I will you send it to me and I'll read it off or whatever.
Oh no, it's fine. I'm gonna leave this as is.
Okay.
Now.
Okay.
We'll maybe at a later date I'll come back at you and be like, you know what? I've revised it. This is
Okay.
Anyway.
I'll do it.
Okay, so then some honorable mentions I had Master Chief.
Good one.
But also it's funny now, this other one that I have as an honorable mention, he's pretty much there for the same reason that Mario is, just because of the influence and place in history, and that's Pac-Man.
Okay.
It's not necessarily a compelling character.
Right, but I get it.
And then, Sonic, because
good one.
Sonic is in that same...
Yeah, he was there.
Does this count? Tony Hawk?
Yeah.
Does Tony Hawk count?
Yeah, I had Pikachu, so yeah, we'll yeah.
Well, Pikachu is a Pokemon. Tony Hawk is a real life person.
Yeah, but he had a game. We'll let it go. It's a podcast.
So many
We can do
good
whatever.
games.
Yeah, no, they were great. 3 and 4 were two of the best. Underground was good. Yeah.
Can you hear my cat screaming at me?
Oh no, I don't hear the cat.
Okay, she finally just stopped.
Oh.
All right. Also, Doom Guy.
Okay, good one.
And though I didn't have it written down, I was conflicted.
I heard it,
okay.
It's all right. I have 4 there. I'm surprised none of them are banging at the door right now.
So I originally wanted to add Gordon Freeman from Half-Life.
That's who I thought was be number 1.
Now, the problem is, I don't feel like you get a sense of who Gordon is because the way that Gordon is developed to not speak and the way that the events of everything in the Half-Life series unfold around you, you get to be Gordon.
Right.
So everyone's experience being Gordon is potentially different.
Right.
Whereas everyone's experience being Alex from the Half-Life series is going to be largely the same because it's the same dialogue.
Right.
It's the same, like, you get more of a sense of who Alex is as a character because of the dialogue and because of the conversations. Gordon has no conversation ever. So, I mean, so that's part of why I would think he would be a compelling character, because you get to decide who Gordon is.
Right.
But then at the same time, I felt conflicted. So I don't know. I feel like I could potentially swap Mario for Gordon.
I thought for sure he'd be on the list. I know as big a fan, that you are of that
huge
series.
fan.
Yeah.
But
and once she made 3, I was like, oh yeah, he's 1.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, can you argue that a character is a well-made character when they don't speak and you don't know anything about them other than what the characters are saying to you? Well, I mean, I guess maybe.
Because I mean, that's what makes it so beautiful, right? Is the fact that 1 million people can play that game and be that character, and he can be 1 million different things, but he can also be something else, to you as you're playing it. So,
all right, goodbye, Mario. Gordon's number 1. Sorry, Mario, you got a lot of great games, but you're not as a compelling character.
I get it. I thought for sure he would be like I said. I know how big of a fan and everything.
Yeah. There were so many things that I was trying to consider. Anyway,
it's
okay. Gordon number 1.
It's tough. It's tough. Trust me. When I was doing it, I was like, wow, this is like, I was mad at myself for even throwing the top 10 thing out there in the wild for people to be like, yeah, do that. Because as I was doing it, I was like, this is difficult. Like,
yeah.
this is tough. So, and honestly, as I was reading it off, even doing my episode, I swapped 2 or 3 on the fly. Like, I was like, I can't. Like, I ended up putting John Marston a lot higher. Because that moment that I talk about in Red Dead Redemption, man, it broke me and my brother's heart.
I had to end up skipping ahead because I haven't finished Red Dead Redemption 2. Because wait, you were talking about RDR2, right?
No, okay, no. RDR2 is the one that you're playing as Arthur.
Oh my god.
I'm talking about the one that came out years before Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, I think there was something where I thought you had said something about Red Dead Redemption 2, so I was like, no, and I skipped ahead until I found the
only thing character. I won't go in, but the only thing I talk about is that John Marston is in Red Dead, because Red Dead Redemption 2 is like a prequel essentially to Red Dead Redemption. Okay, so.
I heard something and I was like, "Oh, my God,
so you heard Red
ahead.
Dead? Yeah, no. This was Red Dead Redemption, the first one.
Okay,
and it was, like I said, you're John Marston because it's set years after two. But that last,
it's a great game.
Oh, it broke our heart. Like, we were so upset, and we just kept exiting out, and was like, no, we can kill them all, and it won't let you. But man, it's such a strong scene. But anyway, I said all that to say that I moved Marston up while I was recording. I was like, so it's hard. It's hard to do a list. It really is, because there's so many great ones. There's so many great ones, and there's just a few things that you said there. Like, you mentioned the Mario RPG, and just throw this out there again. Like, hurry up and play Paper Mario. Oh, hurry up and play Paper Mario.
So I will. I'm just trying to. Or I probably won't end up streaming it just because of the power issues that I'm having with my N64.
I forgot. Yeah, your things was doing that.
It's weird because it's fine for like an hour and a half to 2 hours, but because I've been streaming for 3 hours, it like cuts out halfway through the stream, and I'm like, damn it.
Man, that sucks. Oh, it's such a good game. I really, as much as you enjoyed Mario RPG, I really think you're going to. I really think Paper Mario is going to blow you away.
Yeah, it looks good. I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, I'm excited. Man, that was awesome. So again, thank you so much for doing that, because I didn't know if you would, but I was like, hey, even if he does a top 3, it'd be fun. And again, I've gotten so much feedback on it. People love top 10s, and just to be able to add more more to the rankings is so cool. Because what I want to do is kind of set it up so that I'll have all of our rankings and people can kind of go and look. So
nice.
That's cool. Thank you for that. All right. So we're getting towards the end. So what I thought I would do is kind of like some rapid fire question type deals, because people love the this or that, that's, this or that, whatever. So, well, the first 2, I guess, aren't that, or the first 3 aren't, but anyways, whatever. So number 1, favorite movie. And if you want to say why?
So I couldn't pick one. I have 2.
Okay.
And that would be The Princess Bride and Monty Python, The Holy Grail.
Wow. Okay.
Because they're both kind of silly in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And those are 2 movies that for my entire life I have been quoting and laughing to myself, even if no one laughs.
That is awesome. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Number 2, do you have a favorite book? And if so, why that book?
This is also a cheat. I couldn't think of a singular book.
It's fine. It's a podcast. We can do whatever.
All right. So yeah, I've got a few.
Okay.
The first one I thought of was Johnny Got His Gun from Dalton Trumbo.
Okay.
It's not like it's a quick, fun read or anything. It's fairly depressing. But it's like, I don't know, it kind of highlights the really bad stuff from war.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the Metallica song One?
Yeah.
So basically, One was written from this book.
Oh, wow.
So the main character, like in World War I, steps on a landmine, loses his legs, his arms, his face, his ears, like he basically comes to be stuck in his body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a whole book from that perspective of
Wow.
not being able to communicate, can't see, can't smell, can't taste, can't hear, can't anything. And he's just in a bed. So it's a trip. I haven't read it since I was like in high school.
Yeah.
But it's a great book. For something that's way less depressing. We've got The Martian and also Hail Mary from the same author, Andy Weir.
Yeah.
Hail Mary, I think I like it more than The Martian, even though I really, really loved reading The Martian.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 other gaming related books, Armada and Ready Player One, also from Ernest Cline.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed those books.
Those are fun.
There's Ready Player 2 as well, but I don't know. I think out of the 3 books that Ernest Cline has done, I think Armada is my favorite of those.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And then lastly, Buddhism Plain and Simple by Steve Hagen. So I am not a Buddhist. I am not any particular anything. But what this book is great for is it kind of walks through some of the why, I guess, behind certain things in Buddhism. And it really it's taught me self-awareness and it's helped me pay attention to myself a lot more.
That's
guess,
super
if
interesting.
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I believe I actually,
it's a really great book.
Yeah, I think I've got 3 or 4 books on Buddhism, and I'm not. It just, like you said, they're very interesting reads to kind of help. I don't know, just kind of like what you were just saying, make you realize yourself in kind of space and meditation.
Just be aware of the things that you're doing and start thinking about why am I doing these things? Why am I acting this way or whatever? And learn some breathing meditations. And it's something I picked up probably 20 years ago, and it's been super helpful.
That's really interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's it. That's me in a nutshell, those books.
There you go. That's it right there. Video games, and then him in a nutshell with books. All right. Number 3, favorite music or band, however you wanted to do that.
This one was easier for me to answer. That would be Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, cool. Good one. Okay.
But also, just really like that desert/stoner rock genre.
Yeah.
Because you got Caius. And then to go on the higher end of it, you got Them Crooked Vultures, which also has Josh Homme from the Queens of the Stone Age. He's the front man and guitarist from there, but also has Dave Grohl on the drums and John Paul Jones, the bassist from Led Zeppelin. The 3 of them came together to create this, in my opinion, the single greatest rock album ever made.
Oh wow!
Them Crooked Vultures.
I've heard of it. I don't think I've ever. Another thing to add to the checklist. That's cool.
Dave Grohl on the drums, he's just a monster. Yeah. He's so good.
That's what's crazy is he's probably better as a drummer than he is as a lead singer / guitarist.
I know. It's wild.
Yeah.
I've read Foo Fighters are incredibly successful.
Yeah, I've read that he does, when they're recording a song, he'll do everything. And show everyone in the band, all right, this is how this, he'll do every single thing, the bass, the guitar, the drums, everything. And then they'll kind of follow his lead.
That's what the first Foo Fighters record was. The first Foo Fighters record was Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
And he just recorded all of it.
Yeah. Just showing them how to do everything. That's crazy.
Oh, he's so good.
It is. He's very talented. Okay. All right. More rapid fire here because I think these things are just kind of back and forth. You can give a thing on why you choose one or the other, but I feel like these are more, boom, boom. All right. So Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Lord of the Rings.
Okay, cool. Star Wars or Star Trek?
It's hard.
It is.
That one's real hard.
It's a tough
because I was more into Star Trek when I was young, and I watched a ton of The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But as I've become an adult, I have finally gotten into Star Wars and just think that they're really fun and entertaining movies, without taking stuff too seriously.
All right, so we'll let that go with that. Marvel, DC.
Marvel, simply because of X-Men.
Okay, cool.
I
Good
loved
choice there.
the I loved the 90s X-Men
90s.
cartoon.
And that's coming back. It's coming back. It's coming back. And it's
is?
picking up. It is, and it's picking up where it left off in the 90s.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The same voice actors and everything.
Man, I had such a crush on Rogue.
Oh, who didn't? I mean,
I know.
And then who didn't? And probably the most important thing I could ask, or probably the most important thing that's on this thing, is why is Bloodborne the greatest video game of all time?
I don't even know how to answer this. I mean, I like Bloodborne. I don't think that it's the greatest of all time.
It has become such like a thing with you and your stream now.
I know.
I absolutely love it. It's the greatest thing. I log in or I click on to watch your stream, to watch it and be a part of it. But I wait for that moment to when the Bloodborne stuff starts, because it's always the best part. Oh yeah, he comes in.
Like, this is a real weird looking version of Bloodborne.
It's always immediate. And I was thinking the other night, like coming up with this stuff, I was like, this has become this is like your meme.
Yeah, it's like a meme on my channel now.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I was like, I've got to ask why that. But yeah, no, between him talking about it and you playing it, I've gone back and played it. I've absolutely fallen in love with it. I re-downloaded, or I got it initially. I couldn't get into it. I kept dying. I was like, this is too hard. And why do people play this?
Yeah.
Now I absolutely love it. And I completely understand why people are so into it.
Yeah, I definitely get it now, where for the longest time, I also didn't get it. I'm like, what's the deal with just playing a game that's designed to punish you?
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah. And now and then Elden Ring, the lead up to Elden Ring, I didn't even know what Elden Ring was. I didn't care because I wasn't into. Yeah, I wasn't into it. I had no concern. I got Elden Ring. I'm addicted to it. I cannot wait to hit end on this interview so I can immediately run to the PlayStation 5 and start playing. No, it's so much fun. It's really cool. But yeah, I just added that in as a fun little thing. So if anybody watching or listening is like, what's the big deal? Just go watch Mash's streams on Twitch and you'll figure it out.
I don't know if those VODs are there anymore, but I do have a highlight from me finally beating the Cleric Beast.
Did it go away? Because I do remember watching it a few times. Since it happened.
I mean, the highlights there, and then also like I have a couple clips, but like the VODs only stay on my channel for like 2 weeks. I've downloaded them all, and I'm considering throwing them up on like a YouTube channel for the stuff that I've been streaming.
Oh, that would be
just
cool.
Haven't done that yet.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, just to create an archive for it.
Yeah. No, that was such a fun moment. Yeah, I remember that day. It was really fun.
My mic was clipping hardcore.
It didn't matter. We were all doing it. I was jumping up and down I'm a mailman, and so I was delivering in a mail house for a trailer park, and you have to go inside of this place, and people listening that know me are going to get a kick out of this. But anyways, while I was in there, I had your stream up. And when you beat it, I was like jumping up and down, throwing stuff. I was like, hey, he did it. He did it. And we were all yelling, and it was all caps. And it was fantastic.
It felt so good.
It did, man. It did. It felt so good for all of us.
I made no progress on 2 different 3-hour streams. Like I banged my head against the wall for 6 hours. And you guys were kind enough to watch me just be terrible.
It was so good. It was so good. So good. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you for that. So what I wanted to do, because I'm starting to interview people now more.
Yeah.
Is I was trying to come up with like a reoccurring question. I had one for the first interview I did with Phil, but I was like, not everybody's going to be super into Marvel and stuff like that. So I wanted to be more general. And so I was trying to think of a way to do it. So this is the reoccurring question. Everyone's going to be asked this, and I think it would be fun to kind of keep a list of things.
Yeah.
All right. So have a favorite T-shirt? Because I think everybody has a favorite T-shirt, right? Maybe.
So yes. It's funny. The first one that came to mind, I've not owned in a very long time.
Yeah.
But it was my Sonic 2 pre-release promotional shirt.
Oh wow.
That my dad got from where he worked and gave it to me, and it's the one that says, "Are you up to it?" Like the number 2 for Sonic 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite for a long time, and again, I don't know what happened to it, but then for shirts that I actually own now, my Back in My Play shirt.
Okay.
Because I can't get that anymore.
Okay.
And then I guess
a little sneak peek.
Own shirt.
Yeah, let's push that.
Well, this is an old version that doesn't exist anymore.
It's all right.
It's my old logo, but yeah. And then just the fact that I have my own T-shirt,
a T-shirt
for my own podcast, I think
that's
is
awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
cool. Yeah, like I said, I think everyone has like that one T-shirt, right? From either it be from a childhood or growing up or whatever. Man, that Sonic 2 one would be cool to have.
I know, but now I'm thinking back to I still have a shirt that I bought when I went and saw Metallica in the year 2000. Wow. It was the Summer Sanitarium tour, and it was System of a Down. Wait, who started? No, Paramount 5000, System of a Down.
Oh my gosh.
Korn, Kid Rock, and Metallica.
Yeah.
So I saw that tour in San Francisco at Golden Gate Park, which no longer exists. No, sorry, not Golden Gate Park. Candlestick Park. Golden Gate Park still exists. Jeez, Candlestick has been torn down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess. I don't know. I've had that for 22 years now.
That's awesome. I remember that tour. Like I remember, I definitely remember that tour. As soon as you said that name, I was like, oh man, flashbacks. That's crazy.
I was really big into Metallica back then.
Yeah. Korn, Power Man 5000. It's just, I like
PM5K, man. They're so good.
That's all I would put on Tony Hawk. I would just go to the game thing and replay Worlds Collide over and over and over and over.
Oh, it's such a good record.
Yeah, it was. Well, man, thank you so much for coming on to the back bedroom. I think, this was exactly what I wanted. Just a cool conversation between, I would like to say a friend now, between two friends that this is what I wanted to do with the podcast. So again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was so much fun. So what I will do is I will let you, if anybody watching or listening wants to find you or follow you anywhere, you can say all your things and I will go through and put, all your links in the show notes and in the description. So for anybody listening or watching, where can they find you?
Well, if you head to, now don't forget the 3 W's, because for some reason I have to, I'm not saying that to you. I'm just saying to anyone who's going to be putting the web address in.
Oh yeah.
Remember to do the www.retrogametimemachine.com. Cause I can't put a naked domain, with Google domain anyway. So, that, or if you Google search it, it should come up. But yeah, retrogametimemachine.com. There's links to all the stuff that's there too, but we have a YouTube channel, where I'm actually going to be, or I have actually already started putting the video interviews. So the interview that I have with you is posted up there. I'm going to try to get some more stuff on there, but mainly it's going to be like interview episode focused. Also on Instagram as Retro Game Time Machine. Created a TikTok account where I'm trying to put some of the not reels, sorry, like the smaller, like 30-second ads.
Yeah.
I guess that I'm creating for different episodes of the show.
Nice.
Where else do we have stuff? Oh, like I'm on Good Pods. Like I know you mentioned Good Pods.
Yeah.
So, you can directly interact with and, give reviews to each and every episode if you want. Kind of helps discoverability, at least on that platform. And we have a Patreon, but you can, if that's a nice to have, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep making the show regardless.
But
As
like
long
you
as I
said,
have time, I'm gonna make it anyway because
yeah,
it's fun.
it's something you enjoy doing. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So yeah, go check out, the Retro Game Time Machine, all those places, wherever you listen to podcasts, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And for the back bedroom, uh, thank you all for watching and listening. If you enjoyed this and you want to do something, you want to help, you want to contribute something completely free on your end that helps out a bunch, is just share, my show. Go share Retro Game Time on all your social media links, Facebook, whatever. Completely free for you. Helps, smaller shows and stuff like that. Helps us, reach someone new, or, find new audience members.
Yeah, helps us get out there, with the other people in the same niche, I
Yeah.
suppose.
Yeah, and that's what makes it fun, because the more people we can meet, the more people we could possibly have on to interview and collaborate on different things. So you get cool episodes like this right here. And so again, if you want, for the back bedroom, for those of you all watching and listening, we got the Twitter at back bedroom. You can email at backbedroompod@gmail.com. YouTube at the back bedroom, and that's new. We got some stuff coming up on that. This will be posted on there. And I just started the Tumblr, for the Back Bedroom podcast. So, because I wanted to start writing, I wanted to kind of do reviews. I wanted to kind of come up with my own ranking, like to rank games, like my own top 10. So, gonna do all that. That's gonna be fun. So, of course, you can always find the show wherever you listen to podcasts. So, Apple, Spotify, Good Pods, any place you choose to listen to your podcast. So make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because the algorithm rules the world, and that helps.
Yes, it does.
Unfortunately. And again, before I really close it out, Mash, again, thank you so much for joining me. It was a blast, and I can't wait to do some more stuff with you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on and letting me talk your ear off for an hour and a half.
Loved it. Loved it. I could sit here for 7 hours. So everyone else, thank you so much. And as always, I will see y'all next week, right? Next time. Always get this. I will see y'all right here next time in the back bedroom. Thanks.